Welcome back to WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo, joined in studio today by Brian Leonard. Brian, we're going to look at a college football game, Baylor, West Virginia. Talk about revenge. This is probably about as big as it gets. We always talk about situational handicapping, and revenge is something that I think sometimes is overused. But when you get in the NFL playoff revenge, you never forget the game that knocked you out of the playoffs and ended your season. College football, this one didn't knock them out of the playoffs. It knocked them out of getting into the playoffs last year when West Virginia beat Baylor at home. That lone loss in the conference is what I feel kept Baylor out. You know, it was either going to be Baylor, was it going to be TCU, and then Ohio State leapfrogged both of them into the Final Four. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, that's a definite situation where they've got this game circled. They just come off that TCU game, and as you pointed out, now we're thinking, now we're going to get in. And then they had the letdown against West Virginia. And, you know, West Virginia not only beat them on the scoreboard, they beat them in yardage, they beat them in first downs. West Virginia played a good game against them, and you know Baylor's got this one circled.
No question. Not only do I know that they got it circled, do you know they got it circled? So does everybody else, because the media is going to talk about the revenge factor and that they've had it circled. And the odds makers around town, they know which way the public's going to come on a game, simply because, one, Baylor is one of those public teams. Baylor is one of those teams that scores a ton of points. Everybody loves that. And they cash the tickets. It seems like it doesn't matter how high they put the number. I mean, we see it every single week on Baylor. You can count on it. They're going to come out with the opening number, and they're going to come out with the total, and both of them are going to continue to go up, and the public's going to still bet them. At some point, it's got to be too much. And I think here against this game, because the stock can't be any higher on Baylor with what they've done the last several weeks, and the fact that the public, if they've bet West Virginia the last 2 weeks, they got a bad taste in their mouth. They lost by 20 to Oklahoma. But that game, every time West Virginia came back and cut it to a one-score deficit, they turned the ball over and made it a two-score deficit again. In the last 2 weeks, they've had 9 turnovers. Even with all the turnovers last week, we were out watching the game last week. They lost in overtime to Oklahoma State, a game they could have very well won if they kept the game clean with the turnovers. Now, I know if they have turnovers against this Baylor team, that's going to spell doom.
Yeah, definitely. And from a betting standpoint, we all know beginning of the week who everybody's going to bet. You know, you take a look at North Texas, and they got crushed by a Division II school last week. All of a sudden, Western Kentucky comes out and crushes their opponent, a good Middle Tennessee team. And now you see that line open high and continue to go higher because people remember the last thing they saw. And, you know, this is a game. West Virginia is a good team. This is not a bad football team. They're a good team offensively, especially if they can run the football on this Baylor team and shorten the game, keep the Baylor offense off the field. They can have success. The problem has been they haven't been able to stop the passing game, and that's what Baylor likes to do.
Well, there's no question that Baylor, you know, they can move the football up and down the field quickly. There's only one way to stop that, and as you said, running the football accomplishes that. It keeps the Baylor offense off the field. That's how you're going to beat them, and that's what West Virginia did last year to beat them. And you look at West Virginia, what they're doing this season, last 3 games, they've rushed the football 59, 54, and 61 times. When you can run the football and run it effectively, keep the chains moving, keep the clock moving, and keep the Baylor offense on the sidelines, I think West Virginia, if they have a clean game, and I know that's a big if for a team that turned it over 9 times the last 2 weeks, if they keep it clean, I think this number's too big. I think West Virginia can stay under 3 touchdowns. We're taping on Wednesday. Line 21. I saw a couple rogue 21.5s. I'm looking at plus 21. I'm going to grab the points with West Virginia. I'm going to make them my video best bet.
I would point out that if you do like West Virginia, no hurry to play it, similar to the Buffalo Bills I talked about last week. Baylor line is going to continue to go up, and you'll get a better line if you wait.
All right, there you go. Let's make West Virginia plus 21 or more my video best bet. And don't forget, check out this Saturday. I'm going to have my 5% College Massacre game. We hit our game last week with Rice. We had to go through a long rain delay to do it, but we got it. Actually, a lightning delay, but they got the job done for us. And you can pick up that play by itself, or for an even better deal, check out our Weekend All Access. You can get any capper, all of their plays for $69 Thursday through Monday. It's the best deal going. Check it all out at WagerTalk.com. I'm Marco D'Angelo. He's Brian Leonard. We'll be back with more videos here on WagerTalk.com.